Next, we will start our discussion relating to the service supplied by central government or state government or a union territory or local authority. That means here the service provider are central government or state government or union territory or local authority. Here we have serial number 5 and 5A. In entry 5A, by way of renting immovable property to the person registered under CGST. Now, here renting immovable property means allowing, permitting or granting accesses, entry, occupation, use or any such facilities, whole or partly, in an immovable property with or without the transfer of possession or control of the said immovable property, and includes letting, leasing, licensing or other similar arrangement in respect of immovable property. So these are the clarification of renting of immovable property. It includes permitting or granting or access of entry, occupation, use or any such facility. There may be the allowing or permitting or granting access, entry, occupation or use or any such facilities, either wholly or partly, in an immovable property with or without the transfer of the possession or control of the said immovable property. That means here transfer of property are not made. Here the property is allowing to be used either wholly or partly, and that may be in the form of letting, leasing, licensing, etc. So here the provider of the services are the either it may be the central government, it may be the state government, or it may be the local authority, or it may be the union territory. These are the entity who are the provider of services in this case, and the recipient of services person registered under CGST Act. That means here if the services is provided to a person who are registered under CGST Act, then these services are taxable in the hands of recipient under reverse charge mechanism, because here the provider of the services are government, and government generally does not pay a GST, generally does not pay GST. Exception are there, but government or governmental body generally does not pay the GST. So here since the provider of services are the government and the recipient of the services, here the recipient of the services may be any person, but if he is being registered under CGST Act, then such recipient will liable to pay GST here under reverse charge mechanism. Now in entry 5, any services to a business entity including renting of immovable property and service specified below. Here service specified below means here the services are services by the Department of the Post by way of speed post, express parcel post, life insurance and agency services provided to a person other than central government, state government or union territory or local authority, or services in relation to an aircraft or a vessel inside or outside the precincts of the port or airport, or transport of the goods or passenger. These are the services that are provided by the government. Now here these are the services to the business entity, that services to the business entity, and these services are provided by the government or governmental body, but it does not includes the following. That means it does not include renting of immovable property, because the renting of immovable property has already been discussed in entry number 5A. So in entry 5 it has been left out, and the services that are specified below, that means here the services provided by the government by way of speed post, express parcel post, life insurance, postal life insurance, etc. Services in relation to the aircraft or vessel, and service provided by way of transport of the goods and passenger. These services are to be excluded. Renting of immovable property is to be excluded, and after excluding this item, if any services is provided by the government or governmental body to any business entity, then it will be taxable in the hands of business entity located in the taxable territory under reverse charge mechanism. These are the entry 5 of CGST Act of section 9 subsection 3 of CGST Act 2017. Now there is entry 5B, where the services supplied by any person by way of transfer of development right or floor space index, including additional floor space index for construction of the project by a promoter. So service supplied by a person by way of transfer of the development right or floor space index, including additional floor space index for construction of the project by a promoter. Here the supplier of the services may be any person, but recipient of the services are the promoter. So here the recipient of the services is promoter, and supplier of services may be taken as any person. Now here, since the promoter is the recipient of the services, here the promoter is liable to pay GST on the amount of the consideration that is given. So this is taxable under reverse charge mechanism. I repeat again, if any person transfer the development right by way of floor space index, so here that person who transferred the development right is the provider of services, and who gets such development right, that person is the promoter. So here the person who transferred the development right is the provider of services, and who occupy the development right, who gets the development right, is the recipient of the services, and he is the promoter. And here the promoter as a recipient of services is liable to pay the GST. Next, here entry 5C is there. Here it has been clarified that long-term lease of land 30 years or more by any person against consideration in form of upfront amount called as premium, salami, cost price, development charges, or by any other name, and or a periodic rent for construction of a project by a promoter. Here also the provider of the services may be any person who gives the long-term lease. That means here the leaser is the provider of the services, and leasing, that means here the promoter is the recipient of the services. Now here the promoter, by taking lease from any person, getting the construction right on that land or on that area. So here promoter is the recipient of the services, and provider of the services is the person who given the property on lease. So here the promoter as a recipient of the services is liable to pay GST as per entry 5C of CGST Act of section 9 subsection 3 of CGST Act 2017. And here the reverse charge mechanism is applicable, since recipient is liable to pay tax. Here reverse charge mechanism is applicable.